The latest update for Palworld is now live on both Steam and Xbox, bringing with it some really significant bug fixes and coming just 1 week after their previous update, which fixed a whole load of other key issues. This has given us 2 big updates within the first 3 weeks of this game being out, fixing loads of stuff and making gameplay changes as well, which at this point is just getting embarrassing for other game developers. Not only that, the gap between Steam and Xbox updates has been really small when compared to other games, where you tend to have to wait quite a while for Xbox patches to go through certification before they end up going live. The Steam version of this latest Palworld update went out at about 3 AM UK time GMT yesterday, and the Xbox version was live just 11 hours later at about 2 PM GMT. So once again, a fantastic quick response from Palworld, and as I said, this fixes some really key issues that we'll go through now. So first up, this is one of the issues that was mentioned in the patch from last week. Fixed an issue where the game would always crash and save data would be corrupted when the total number of pals captured by the guild reached approximately 7,000. We had this mentioned, and also this in the previous patch. Save data that had already been in this state. For servers, the world data remained in a broken state that made it impossible to load, but after applying this patch, it will be resolved and will load properly. So this was a fix they had made in the previous patch, where if you hadn't encountered this bug yet, then it would be fixed, but if you had already hit this, then you would still be affected and your save would be broken. They've now resolved that, so if your save was already broken because of this 7,000 cap bug, then you should now be able to use that save again. So great fix there, and nice to see them fixing existing saves as well as the problem itself. We've also got fixed an issue where some weapons equipped by other players would disappear when a player used a grenade in multiplayer. And then the big one really that everybody has been talking about, fixed an issue where although the displayed capture probability increased when the capture power was strengthened with Liftmonk effigies, the capture probability did not actually increase at all due to an internal processing bug. So this was Liftmonk effigies being broken. If you're not familiar with them, they're the little green glowing statues. You go around, pick them up, little collectibles, and then you go and use them at statues of power, and it increases your capture probability, your capture power. And not long after the game came out, people noticed that there was an issue with this where you were collecting them, leveling up your power, and then they're actually finding that the on-screen probability was starting to go down rather than up when they were leveling up their power. Now, there was some debate over whether this was having a negative effect on your capture power or it was just having no effect, but the displayed capture probability on screen was incorrect. I think by the sound of their statement here, we can say that it was probably staying the same and it was just the on-screen visible amount that was changing and going the wrong way. But this bug has now been fixed, so you can go and use your Liftmonk effigies at your statue of power and level up your capturing power. You can see in this little test on screen, this is just a little test account where I had no Liftmonk effigies, so I went and used a couple, and you can see that the capture probability goes up slightly on this test each time that we have leveled up from ranks 1, 2, and then 3. Great to see this bug fixed. This was probably the #1 talking point in terms of big bugs on the game that people have been talking about on the Reddit, on the Discord, and fantastic to have that addressed within 3 weeks of the game's release. We've also got base-related stuff. Fixed an issue where if a pal was manually assigned to a breeding farm that went to sleep, it would not wake up forever, which sounds incredibly morbid and dark. Obviously a good bug to be fixed. And then fixed an issue where no wood would drop when a pal at the base felled a tree. So another good little fix there. They also say they've implemented countermeasures against some cheats and exploits. So a nice little list of stuff there. 2 really big ones, I think, with the Liftmonk effigies and this save data issue. And arguably the breeding issue is going to be one that's could have probably affected quite a few people as well as some other issues there. And I think it just shows real promise as to the devs' intentions with the amount of stuff they've managed to get sorted already. As I said in my previous update video, it really made me think of the Starfield release when I was making content for that and planning to do update videos like I often do. And then Starfield, after 2 weeks, they did an update that had like 2 lines in the patch notes where I think they fixed 2 completely broken quests, and then maybe a month later they'd do another update and they'd fix 2 more broken quests, and it was just incredibly slow pace of updates going out for Starfield, which, don't get me wrong, I very much enjoyed the game, but the post-release updates were just incredibly disappointing. And even their big patch that went out recently was still just a few fixes in my mind that probably should have gone out 2 weeks after the game release, or really been sorted when the game did release, as it wasn't an early access title like Palworld, but Palworld seems to be much more flexible, much more reactive, and dealing with problems much more quickly than a lot of these big developers seem to be able to do. So hats off to them. Great work so far. Going to be really interesting to see what else they go on to fix and change, and then also what other new content they're going to add. I think is going to be very exciting. It's going to be great to see them implement new bosses, new game mechanics, new areas, changes to the map, and then, you know, maybe in the future we will see another map, stuff like that come into the game, new powers. I would like to see maybe new powers you can use for farming. The farming, I think, is a bit restricted with the resources you can get at the moment. Be nice to see other powers you can farm to get different resources. And I'd love to hear from all of you over what you would like to see in coming updates. Are there any bugs that you find particularly annoying that you'd like to see fixed? Are you having performance issues on the older versions of the Xbox? Or are there new features that you would like to see them working on next? So thanks very much for watching. That's everything for today. If you enjoyed the video, then why not click sub and like it to tell the algorithm you said hi, and go and check out some of my other Palworld tips and guides videos. I've got a few up and loads more planned, so there's plenty more coming your way. Thanks very much for watching. My name's Ben, we are the Beard Guys, and I'll see you next time.